Hey guys, my name is Stacey Hunt, and I'm just hanging out here at home working on some music for my next show. And I just wanted to take this minute to answer some questions that I'm frequently asked at my shows. So I just want to say thank you so much for all your support, and I'm super excited for you to hear my new music. Enjoy. I was born in Thorold, Ontario, Canada, and that's where I currently live. Thorold's a pretty small town. It's filled with a lot of Italians, so we actually call it Little Italy. And it's about 20 minutes away from Niagara Falls, Canada, and the US border into Buffalo, New York. Well, I come from a pretty traditional religious family. I have an older brother and an older sister who are both married, so I'm the baby of the family. And we're all fortunate enough to send ourselves through college and university, but we do come from a pretty middle-class family. Ever since I can remember, I was always singing around the house, banging on the piano, trying to make music. My mom thought it would be a fantastic idea to sign me up for the church choir. So I was around 6 years old, and I still remember the first rehearsal. I was just learning how to read, so I could barely really read the music, but I remember I knew the melody and I could sing my oohs and ahs. So, it was fun to start off with, but it was a little bit nerve-wracking because everyone else was so much older than me. I had to keep up. While singing in the choir, as I grew up, I was around 9 years old, and I began cantering at my church. So that's standing at the front of the altar and leading the congregation in song. So I was so short. It was funny because they had to have a little box for me behind the podium to step up onto so I can reach the microphone. So that was my first performance, first solo performance, but it went pretty well. When I was 7 years old, I began piano lessons, and my vocal teacher had actually told me that I should pick up an instrument to further my singing career. So I started with piano, and then as I grew older, I picked up guitar in high school. A few years ago, my sister, my brother-in-law, and myself had created a trio. It was called Ebb and Flow. We gigged around the city, and we actually released our self-titled Ebb and Flow CD. And it was a huge challenge, and it was super exciting because we got to perform our own music live in front of an audience. Other than Ebb and Flow, though, I had created a band in university, and it was just a fun pickup band, and we played on the weekends and had a really great time. I attended Wilfrid Laurier University in Waterloo, Ontario, and over the course of 4 years, I ended up attaining my honors BA in sociology. It was actually funny because I went to university initially for music therapy, and after a year, I decided that I just really wanted to keep music as my passion. So I transferred into sociology because I really do enjoy working with people. I started teaching piano and voice lessons a few years ago. My youngest student was around 4 years old. My oldest student was around 55 years old. So obviously there was a huge age range as well as learning abilities. So, it was fun because people were there just to learn an instrument or, pursue a hobby, but also to prepare for an exam and, have a career in music. So, it was a really great time to teach, and as much as I taught them about music, they taught me a lot about life. So it was really, really fun. I began dancing when I was 4 years old, and I took the typical tap jazz ballet, and it was a really fun experience when I was young. But by the time I was 6 years old, I wanted to try something different. So that's when I actually started singing in my church choir. But over the years, I came back to it a couple of times, and most recently I actually had a job that incorporated singing and dancing. So I got to come back to that and have fun with it and actually try different styles as well. So it was really fun. I recorded at a few different studios in the area, and it's been such a wide spectrum of different work. And it's from anything from background vocals on a folk song or a pop song, just doing oohs and ahs. all the way to the other end of, singing with a rapper or being on a house track with a house DJ. It's a great experience, and it's such a challenge because you're put on the spot sometimes. You know your part sometimes, but then they want to always ad lib and try different things. So it's great being able to try different genres. I have a lot of musical influences. They span anywhere from Billie Holiday and Adele on the jazz side, or Stevie Wonder, Motown, Christina Aguilera and Alicia Keys for their unreal vocals. But then also on the countryside, Dixie Chicks, or I was raised with Faith Hill and Shania Twain. And they're all such great vocalists and such confident musicians in what they sing and who they are. And they really do influence me and my musical style. Unlike a lot of people who don't like working out and going to the gym, it's one of my favorite places to go. I just find it such a stress reliever. I can just sweat out all my issues. And when I'm not at the gym, I love to rock climb. I'm not very good at it, mind you, but it's a good time. And then also, when it's a nice day outside, I go for a nice long hike. I don't like the cold. I know I'm a Canadian, but I can't go hiking in the cold. So other than that, I just love going out with my friends after work and hanging out. In my spare time, I love to watch movies. I work actually at night, so I always miss out on my TV shows and my movies at night, so I marathon watch during the day. And I just find that it's a really good time for me to just take an hour or two and just relax and, de-stress a little bit and catch up on my TV shows. At a young age, singing with my church choir, we would actually travel around the city and perform for, senior homes and retirement homes. And it was a really great experience. And I loved it so much that I would continue actually as I grew older. And I visited the hospitals and, I performed for the patients there in the palliative care unit who couldn't go home for Christmas time. I would perform their favorite songs for them. I decided to pursue a career in music simply because it's my passion and I could never imagine myself doing anything else in this life. I would definitely describe my style as country pop with a little bit of attitude and, a nice blending of R&B. I enjoy performing simply because when I step on stage, I feel comfortable. I feel safe and I actually don't feel judged. It's a place that I can just express myself. I can interact with my audience. I can interact with my band members and just be lost in the music, and it's a really great experience. Something that would actually always happen to me while performing was, ever since I was young, it didn't matter if it was at church or a competition or an outdoor festival, the microphone would always glitch. It was kind of my curse in the sense that whenever I sang, either the PA wouldn't work with the microphone, the music would be totally fine and working, but it was always my microphone that would glitch at some point. So I eventually actually started rehearsing with the what if possibility of my microphone not working. The scariest moment for me while performing was I was around 11 years old and I was singing at the Thorold Blackhawks hockey game. And I was always nervous to sing the anthem on the ice, so they allowed me to sing it up in the box with the announcers. And the one night, it was a regular Thursday night game, and the announcer handed me the microphone, but I could hear that it was glitching on him. So I said, oh, here we go again, like the microphone's not working. But it started working and it was okay. And then halfway through the anthem, it completely started glitching and it completely blanked out. Well, I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do. And of course, the announcer was just like, well, keep singing, keep singing, keep singing. But in my head, I was like, well, no one's hearing me. So then they completely stopped. Everyone stopped singing. It was awkward and no one knew what to do. And they were trying to fix the microphone. And then finally he said, okay, just pick up where you were. Well, I didn't know where I was. I completely lost my lyrics to the national anthem. And it was so embarrassing, but then, eventually I got on track and I remembered. But it was a pretty scary moment for me. Something that people may not know about me is that I'm actually pretty loud and outgoing. I know I come across with a quiet demeanor and, a little bit reserved and even could be taken as standoffish or unapproachable. But I think as soon as I get into like a comfortable setting, I really do show my true colors. When people come see me in concert, I want to leave them with the impression that they know me better, that they feel the music the way I feel the music, that, obviously they have a good time and their money was well spent. But at the end of the day, I really want to have a connection with my audience and leave them wanting more. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all your support. I'm super excited to be sharing my music with you. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from you all and seeing you all in the future.